My name is Gabriel Akilis, and there's something that I would like to tell you. For quite a while, I've developed this interest where I look into ethnicities. I developed this interest where I'm studying like a hobby. Maybe I could study this as a minor in the near future, but I like to learn. I like to learn in depth about the many different types of ethnicities in this whole wide world. By the way, I know what you're thinking. Ethnicity is not race. I don't think it's the same. By ethnicity, I'm not just talking about the overly generalized black, white, Asian, native, Pacific Islander, and Hispanic. In my opinion, ethnicity, the concept of ethnicity as a whole, it's more than just that. It's more than just what America says, what the U.S. Census says. It's about what country you're from as well. Where can you find where can you find which ethnic groups can you find in one country, in which ethnic groups you can find in another country. I'm not trying to say I'm not saying that I'm not here to say that there is only one ethnic group in one country, because in reality it's not like that. There are people from other countries resigning resigning in one country, and those different nationalities are different ethnic groups. That's how I view it. Now I'm not now in case you're wondering whether I'm being racist, I'm not being racist. If you think this is the case, stop watching this video and grow up before you scream at me. Maybe learn how to educate yourself and stop being offended just cause I talk about ethnic groups. Okay? Anyways, what interests me the most about learning about ethnic groups is how many ethnic groups exist in one country, what kind of languages those ethnic groups speak, what religion they practice, what religion those ethnic groups practice, and how these ethnic groups are being treated in one country, especially minorities like the Romani people across Europe, the Rohingya people in Myanmar, how Arabs are treated in Israel, how natives are treated in Peru, how foreign how white people, Hispanic people, how black people are treated in Japan and China. That's how I like to view ethnicity. Another thing that interests me about ethnicity is cultural blending. Because you know what? I am a person, I am a mixed person myself. I have I have several different ethnicities as a Hispanic myself. To some people I might pass as white, but in reality I'm more than just white. I have you my my ancestry g- Here's how my ancestry grow. Here's how I see my ancestry as. I have Sephardic Jewish ancestry from Europe, Sephardic Jewish ancestry, as well as European Romance, especially Iberian Romance ancestry, which of course is blended has been blended with the Moors of North Africa. a lot of the people that live in Spain have blended together with the Moors. So I have a little bit of that, along with Sephardic Jewish ancestry, that the that the Spanish and Portuguese blended with. Interracial interethnic marriage, that's how I like to call it. As well as as well as a little bit of African ancestry. My great grandmother is the daughter of the slave, is the daughter of a slave, born under Brazil's free womb law that used to exist until slavery was fully abolished in 1888 in Brazil, as well as a little bit of indigenous Quechuan ancestry, native ancestry I meant, predominantly Quechuan because because in my opinion I believe that my dad and my paternal grandmother, they do have some Quechuan ancestry in them. Not fully, not half, I'd say a little bit less. Ethnic in terms of skin tone, I think that my mom is a little bit brighter, has a little her skin tone is a little bit lighter than mine, and my dad's skin tone, as you've seen in my videos already, is a little bit darker than mine. I'm like in between. So it's interesting to see. So I find it very interesting to see how people of one ethnicity and people of another ethnicity, they make offspring, and the offspring and the offspring is of two different ethnicities, and those people with two different ethnicities create their own culture. They blend one half of their culture, and then they blend another half of their culture, thus creating a new culture. Just like how the people of Peru, they blended they blended they blended Incan culture with Spanish culture. They have and now it's just one culture, Peru. They have their own culture that's mixed with Incan and traditional Spanish culture. I'm not saying that the original cultures don't exist, because because there's lots of people, especially Quechuans and other natives, which accounts to about 25% of Peru's population, still practice still practice still practice their culture, which is still alive, as well as the people from Spain, their culture is still alive. The thing that worries me the most whenever it comes to studying ethnicity is, of course, ethnicities that are endangered ethnicities, endangered languages. This is something I worry about the most, because there's lots of people, especially there's lots of nations that are trying their best to preserve and convince more people to start speaking endangered languages, especially the indigenous languages of America, of the United States. There's tons of indigenous people trying to convince people to start speaking their language, their moribund language. It's kind of sad that it's kind of sad seeing a language die, seeing seeing an ethnicity go extinct. This is something I worry about whenever it comes to studying ethnicity. But that's but in the end, this is something that interests me. Alright, so anyways, that's all I have to say here. Thank you for listening to my opinion. So therefore, finally, goodbye for now.